So today I'm going to be talking about a little theory that I have in League of Legends. It's about how K-pop and anime make NA worse at League and pro play, and why having teammates who like it make you worse. So let's just go into a quick definition here of what K-pop and anime is. So I know we don't want an in-depth analysis on K-pop, but we have to have a basic understanding of what K-pop is. Same with anime. So K-pop, or Korean popular music, is a popular genre of South Korean music which recently became mainstream in the West. Anime needs no introduction. Obviously, I'm sure everyone watches it, but anime is basically just animation originating from Japan, and it's probably been popular in the West since about the 90s. Now, I have scientific proof that K-pop and anime make NA worse at League of Legends and pro play. Now, before we look at that and all the other factors revolving around K-pop and anime making NA worse at League, we need to look at Newton's law of motion. Newton's law of motion states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So what if we apply this to League? We saw Carrier in Worlds 2023 get the New Jeans buff. New Jeans obviously being a large K-pop group originating from South Korea. They helped T1 win a Worlds title, the fourth in franchise history. So now if we apply Newton's law, there needs to be an equal and opposite reaction. So if T1 gets a buff from K-pop, there needs to be a region or team that gets a debuff. So I believe that NA has been on the receiving end of this debuff since when? 2012. The first time an NA team didn't make top 4 in Worlds. And what song came out in 2012 and revolutionized the West's music industry? Take a good hard gander and think about that because we're going to come back to this. Now, before we take a look at what song is revolutionizing the music industry of the West in 2012 and what song activated the K-pop debuff for NA Pro Play, we need an in-depth look at Pro Play results. So, ever since 2011, the only other team to make it out of quarters was C9. That was in 2018. While the NA faithful from 2011 has always hoped we would win it all, or just win a best of 5, I have indisputable evidence that K-pop ruined NA's chances at a Worlds title. So keep that in mind. 2011, 2018 are the only years NA has made it out of quarters. Now, remember that song I was talking about and how you needed to think of it? If you thought about it, good, but here it is. So, after TSM won the 2012 regionals, they looked poised to make a good run at Worlds. But only 3 months before Worlds, a song that would take the world and the West by storm was released. The first ever bioweapon made to limit NA talent and make sure we don't win any major events. Did you guess it? Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style released July 15th, 2012. This was the Hiroshima and Nagasaki to NA Pro Play. Now you may be asking me, C9 made it to top 4 in 2018. Doesn't that invalidate my argument? I have a simple yet amazing counter. BTS, the biggest K-pop group ever, was having a big controversy in 2018. The group looked shaky, unstable, and for the first time in their 5-year group career, was looking like they might disband. This allowed C9 with the K-pop debuff weakened to make top 4 in the Worlds that year, the only time since 2011, and the only time since the K-pop bioweapon was released to the West. Now, I was holding off on posting about my theory until this last Worlds 2024 because I found some even more crazy evidence to support my theory. So let's just talk about BTS's military service and then the Esports World Cup. So BTS has been in military service since late December 2023. The Esports World Cup being held in July of 2024. Meanwhile, the first member of BTS to return from military service was in June. Therefore, one NA team needs to be sacrificed to appease the debuff, meaning FlyQuest was then sacrificed because they did finish in quarters, meaning they were the last place team. So, one member, one debuff, right? Now, while In the Esports World Cup, NA had a very good showing. FlyQuest looked promising, taking G2 to a Game 3 in a best of 3. And Team Liquid had an even better showing, beating Fnatic and taking T1 to Game 3 on a best of 3 again, finishing 3rd place in the tournament, right? So we have two West teams. I'm going to include Europe here because Europe is a part of this debuff, I'm going to say, making a semifinals in a world's or international tournament, I should say, making semifinals in an international tournament because BTS, the biggest K-pop group out there, was in military service, not being active in the music industry. Now, this is where it gets crazy. So, Worlds 2024. We know that 3 teams from NA played in Worlds 2024. 100 Thieves, Team Liquid, and FlyQuest. Since one BTS member came back from military service, one NA team was sacrificed to appease the debuff. That being 100 Thieves, as they flamed out in play-ins somehow. I don't know how. They beat C9, but they flamed out in play-ins. Don't even get me started on that. But anyways, FlyQuest showed promising best of threes against the top teams in the Worlds tournament, right? Hanwha Life, they looked very promising. Now, Team Liquid in the Swiss stage didn't look as promising, but eventually they made it to the 2-2 where they needed one game to advance. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, FlyQuest and Team Liquid drew the same and were having to play against each other for that top 8 spot. Now, this wasn't a problem, as that means NA secured a World's top 8 spot at least. Now, this is where it gets damning, right? So, FlyQuest beat Team Liquid for that top 8 spot, and they looked very, very good in that series. I think they only lost one game, if I recall correctly. So, when they got matched up against Gen G, people lost all hope. And I lost hope too, I'm not gonna lie. I lost a lot of hope. But I think I lost hope for the wrong reason. Because I shouldn't have lost hope that they wouldn't beat Gen G. I should have lost hope because that game, FlyQuest versus Gen G, was played on the 20th of October. Guess what happened on the Thursday, the 17th of October? Another BTS member named J-Hope was released from military service on that 17th. And since one NA team needs to be sacrificed to appease the K-pop debuff, even with a good performance, FlyQuest was defeated by Gen G 3-2. Now, I know we have a lot of hope for this next season of NA Pro Play because of the showings that happened at the Esports World Cup and the Worlds 2024 tournament, but I think we need to dampen our expectations because BTS members are going to keep on coming back from military service, and it's just going to make us play so much worse. And it's only going to get worse unless we import 5 Koreans and we import a K-pop group to solely be based in North America. That is the only way we are ever going to win anything. Now, that's just a theory, a League of Legends theory. Thanks for watching.